Hi and welcome to another one of my screencasts. In this short screencast I'm going to show you some techniques that you can use to build a typographic map. So a typographic map is where typography or letters or words are used to actually do the cartographic features or render the cartographic features rather than, for example, using lines or hatching or shading or what have you. So I've already started a simple project and I'm going to show you the basics of what we do to be able to basically turn typography into geographic features. You need a few different tools for this. The first tool that I'm using is called Inkscape. It's an open source SVG editor. Very nice program, and it will allow us to type in some text and convert it to an SVG. The second tool that we're going to use is this little web application which I've written. It's based on a library by David McClure. I hope I pronounced his name correctly. And this tool allows you to paste some SVG into one box and it will put out well-known text, which is a geographic geometry representation, into this other box. Then we're going to take the content from this well-known text box and we're going to paste it into QGIS as a feature in this typography layer that I've created, and then we'll do a simple warp and transform to put it in the right place, and and that's basically the procedure we're going to follow. So I've already done a couple here and I'm just doing it kind of rough just to really demonstrate the concept. So the first step is to go to your SVG editor, and I'm going to do Botswana next. So I know the country code for Botswana is BWE, so I'm basically going to just go to this session that I've got here and delete the last one that I did, and I'm going to put in some text here, BWE, like that. Right, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to you can choose any font you like and do all the normal things. You'll find your mileage will vary depending on which font you've chosen. Once you've got your text to your satisfaction, you don't have to do this, but I just like to resize the drawing to the selection in this document properties dialog. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use the arrow tool here, click on the object and convert that to a path. So it now will no longer be represented as text in the SVG, but rather as a sequence of lines and paths. And you can see that by, for example, if you click on one of these letters now, you can see the actual nodes that make up the letters. Right, so the similarities between this and GIS is quite obvious. This is just a bunch of polygons, basically, with vertices that define the extents and inner rings and so on. And so we're going to convert this into a GIS format. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this out as PWE. That's the ISO code for Botswana. And then I'm going to go and open my text editor. And I'm going to just grab that SVG file. And if you look inside, you'll see that the paths that make up those letters are basically just coordinate pairs, just like we would have in a GIS. The only problem is that they're in a coordinate space which doesn't really match anything that we're using in a GIS. So I'm going to select that whole document, put it in my clipboard, and then go to this website of mine, svg-2-wkt.linfinity.com. And I'm going to paste the SVG in there and click on this button, and what it's going to do is going to give me a geometry collection, which is a collection of lines back. I'm going to take those lines and I'll leave the geometry collection part of the WKT behind. So you'll see I'm leaving out the last bracket and this first keyword and its bracket. I'm leaving those out. Now I'm going to just take these back to my text editor, open a new document, and what I need to do is I just need to get rid of the commas interspersed between these line strings. So I'm just going to look for all the line strings here and just put each line string on a new line and remove the preceding comma, like that. Then again I'm going to select all the text, copy it to my clipboard and go back to QGIS. Now make sure my layer is in edit mode, which is already enabled on this in this session I've got running here, and I can simply paste the features in. You'll see that QGIS shows a nice message here telling you the 3 features are pasted, but they don't appear on my map over Botswana because the SVG doesn't really have any coordinate system that matches the geography of our map. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a simple transform to try to place it into Botswana, and then that will be basically the procedure we're going to follow. So I'm going to just shift it a little bit sort of over the center of Botswana like that. Okay, and you can not use the normal digitizing tools in QGIS. So you've got the digitizing and the advanced digitizing tools. You can go and for example, rotate those features up a bit, like this. Okay. But those letters need to be scaled down to the size of Botswana as well. So there's a few ways you can do this. The one option is to use this vector geoprocessing tools, and you've got affine transforms where you can do rotation, translation, and scale. And then there's also another new plugin which was just released, which I'm going to try to use now. I'm not sure if it's going to work well or not for this, which is called the Vector Blender plugin. You can find it in the QGIS plugin repository, and this will let us do a more interactive transform of these letters. So I'm going to use that approach. I'm going to set it up first. I've already set mine up before, but I'll just show you what you do to set it up. You basically open the Vector Blender tool, and then you click on this little button next to the pairs layer in order to generate a new pairing layer. Okay, I've told it to restrict any transforms it does to the selected letters. And what I need to do now is go and now specify some tie points between these letters and Botswana. And I'm going to do it just in a very simple way. I'm going to digitize 2 lines, one from the top left-hand corner to the top left-hand corner of where I want it to appear in Botswana, and one from the bottom right-hand corner to the bottom right-hand corner of where I want it to appear. Right, so with 2 control points you've got enough that you can do a basic transform. Okay, and so it sort of shrunk it down into the size of that area that I've defined there, and then I can go back to QGIS and I can use the rotation tool. Whoopsie, wrong layer, sorry. Hang on a second. Let me just save up my changes quickly and then try to rotate it again. That looks a bit better. And then maybe the move tool again, just to shift things around. Okay, and then if I remove the selection, you'll see my next letters appeared on the map. And so you can follow that procedure and create the text for each country boundary that you're working with, or river, or whatever it might be, and then drop them into the map. And after a while you'll have something that looks like that, and if you do enough of them you'll actually start to see the shape of the continents or the shape of the area and so on. Well, I hope you've enjoyed watching this little screencast, and maybe you could share some of the nice typographic maps you produce using this technique, or let us know of any other clever hints and tips you might have to make the procedure of doing a typographic map easier. Thanks for watching.